it, baby. It's going through. That's good for 40, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go!
18 days to the kick of death. Hey, that's no joke. That's 40 yards, dude.
That was 40 yards right down the middle, Kay, but there's something I got to tell you. I tried it 6 times in a row. I missed the first 5, and then the 6th one, I hit it right down the middle. But practice makes perfect, and that's why I just keep going. I have the resilience. I keep missing, but it's all right. I keep trying, and then I finally got it down. Boom, 40 yards.
But I feel like last year we had it all down. You practiced. You were doing great. Like, you had Adam Vinatieri. Did Adam Vinatieri not give you good advice?
Adam Vinatieri gave me great advice, and also he gave me great advice how to work out too, because he is absolutely yoked, and I couldn't believe it when I met him. I mean, I was surprised how yoked he was, and he was walking around like, oh man, there he is. About you, brother. Oh, I'm about to say bad things. What's up?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? I keep seeing you on TV all over. I can't wait for the redemption kick, man. Hopefully you got better coaching this year. Hopefully you got somebody that's going to help you put it right down the middle.
I mean, I'm only using the pointers that you gave me last year, the coaching pointers you gave me, but you were there for the kick of destiny. How great of a kick did I have last year? How much BS was that the wind came through?
Buddy, when we got out of the car and walked out onto that field, it was a hard wind blowing right to left. And that was one of those things that you and I talked about beforehand. We're like, all right, make sure we're kind of aiming at that right post and hit the same ball that you were doing. And I think, you know, once you got into the kick and once it went live and all that stuff, you had a beautiful kick. You just started at dead center, and then sure enough, that wind kind of screwed you. Trust me, that it's happened to all of us many, many times. And hopefully either this time you don't have any elements or make sure you play the wind if there is any. That's for sure.
Well, how do you bounce back from a kick that you miss, especially in a big-time situation like I was in, and I missed that kick? What do I do to bounce back, Adam?
Well, honestly, you have to try to forget about it. Now, the problem for you is you've had a whole year to think about it, right? You know, when you miss one in a normal regular season game, you've got 7 days and you're back on the field, or even if you miss one in the beginning of the game, you just try to wipe it out of your mind and really focus in on your fundamentals, right? So if we start thinking good things or bad things or what happens if I make or miss, we're not concentrating on the actual fundamentals of the kick. So, dude, I watched you all last year. I watched you warm up. I watched you hit a bunch of them. I'm betting, I'm putting my money that you're going to make this one this year for sure. It blew me away that the wind kind of messed you up that one right there is not pretty, but hey, I know you've got it in you, Mud. You're going to make this.
No, wait. Show us the one we came into the segment with. Let's have Adam take the greatest kicker of all time, absolute legend. He hit a 40-yarder. That's no joke. Let's take a look at that. Talk me through this one. What do you make of it, Adam? Let's take a look. Hopefully we have it. There we go. That's okay.
That's a beautiful kick. I tell you what, technique, form, okay. I mean, obviously you haven't been doing it for 20 years, so there's always little tweaks, but that's a beautiful kick. I mean, anytime you can put a ball straight down the middle at 40 yards, we're doing something for sure. So, really just focus in on your fundamentals and wipe out all the cameras and all the bets out there and all the money changing hands on this. I know there'll be a lot of bets. I'm putting I'm putting my money on you, buddy.
Adam, I'm like joking and laughing, and I'm watching Gronk, and Gronk is completely mentally taking notes of everything you're saying. Gronk,
I appreciate the boost of confidence, Adam.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. Gronk's a fun guy. He always has a good time. But when it comes down to business, he's 100% business. I watched him the day of the kick last year and the time that we were shooting the commercials, and he is a true professional. I mean, obviously everybody loves him because he's a fun guy and he's very charismatic. But when it comes down to wanting to be the best and to do his job and to succeed, there's nobody more serious than he is about it. So, like I said, man, I'm excited for you, bud.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the love. And I got a question for you, man. Last year, I finally got to meet you, and you're just absolutely yoked out of your mind. Can you send me your workout regimen? I'm trying to get to your side.
Well, I tell you what, that's the beautiful thing about being retired. I've got a lot of free time now, and And honestly, I'm not kicking as many balls. And if you made me go run some sprints, I would probably die right now. But I am getting in the weight room, having a good time with that. And, you know, I got a teenage daughter that I got to protect, make sure the boys know to treat her right. So all joking aside, I do enjoy just trying to stay fit and trying to stay healthy. And, you know, it's just one of those things, man. You know, I didn't want to meet up with you and be embarrassed. So I figured I'd better get myself in a little bit of shape anyway.
I understand that. Can you give us a flex? Let's see those pipes, baby.
Come on, give me some. Give me some.
Oh, man. There we go.
Let's see yours, bro. Come on, I want to see it.
I'm flexing as well. Check those bad boys out.
All right.
There you go.
I don't know how every Wednesday Gronk comes on and somehow it ends up being people showing body parts and flexing and talking about workout regimens, which we love. Adam, you are a GOAT. I was talking with Gronk about how Kelce and Mahomes, they broke a record of him and Tom Brady's, very reverential, very the touchdown playoff record. But I was looking at yours this morning. No one is coming close at all. Ever. You have 599 career field goals made. The next closest is 39-year-old Matt Prater, and he's, oh my God, he's like 200 away, Adam. How does it feel to know the security that these records probably will never be touched?
Well, I tell you what, you know, I never thought I would play long enough I played against Morton Anderson at the very beginning of my career, and I looked at his stats and his numbers and shook his hand in awe, going, there's nobody that's ever going to touch his numbers. And thankfully and fortunately, I played a long time with a lot of great teammates that, you know, when you're winning a lot of games and making it to Super Bowls, you score a lot of points too. So there's some guys on that list that are very capable if they play long enough. Like I said, I was fortunate to play 24 seasons in the league. You have to have a little bit of luck involved with that and stay healthy and I guess still make your kicks, you know, be consistent. But there's some guys on that list that are pretty impressive, and they're still young enough to maybe catch me. So hopefully my records last a few more years or thereabouts. But all records are made to be broken, but hopefully I'll keep him for a little while longer.
Gronk, if you'll let me, I'd love to ask him a kicking question.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it was like everywhere this past weekend. Gronk's at Fox watching, I'm at home watching. Like, the kicking played a massive role in these games. Missed kicks in San Francisco. Jake Moody, rookie, didn't have a ton of experience because they never kick in San Francisco. Buffalo's wide right replay. I mean, it was crazy. It felt like a lot of games came down to these huge kicks. When you line up for a potential late game clutch field goal, what is going through your mind, and what did you make of this around the league?
Well, no, you're absolutely right. And especially in the playoffs, all the margins get a little bit tighter, you know, and it just seems like every point is at a premium because you just never know how it's going to turn out in the end. And you're always having, you're having great teams that are playing against each other. So the momentum swing on a made or missed kick is huge as well. And, you know, and then this time of the year, obviously, you know, kicking in Buffalo it's always difficult, no matter if it's September or especially in January. I know some of the crappiest weather games I've ever played in was in Buffalo. So that's a tough place. It's always windy. There's usually elements involved all the time. So it's a tough situation for sure. But, you know, honestly, if you try to block out all the noise, right? If you block out the circumstances and can really just focus in on, you know, hey, it's not the last second field goal in a divisional playoff game. It's a 40-yarder that I've done a million other times. And if you can just really focus in on your technique and just stay in your little box and not think about all the other stuff, usually you're a little bit more successful. But, you know, I watched the Buffalo kick at the end, and he hit a nice ball to start with. The wind ate it up and pushed it right. You know, Gronk, you know, the kick of destiny last year. Sometimes, and I hate to admit it, but there's been a few times that I've had to aim outside of the uprights knowing that it was going to blow the kick so far one direction. And it's hard to train your mind into aiming at a post or aiming outside of a post, knowing that the ball is going to move, because you're automatically setting up like, hey, if the wind stops, I'm going to miss this kick. But you have to convince your mind that the uprights are just slid over because of the wind, and trust your line and trust your ability. And, hopefully it works out that way. But yeah, trust me, I've missed plenty of kicks in my career. I feel terrible every time I watch one of those guys walk out there and unfortunately miss a kick, because I've been there. I unfortunately know how they feel, and I feel for their families and their wives and their kids, because been there, done that, unfortunately.
It just can't be Gronk on Super Bowl Sunday.
What's that?
It just can't be Gronk on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, I'm telling you what, like I said, I got my money on Gronk, man. You're going to do it, bud. You got it. You got it.
I'm going to make. I'm going to make.
It'll hopefully be a make here. I mean, I don't know why I guess we're showing poor Gronk. We don't want this in Gronk's head from last year. But this is last year. It'll be totally different this year, of course. Great advice from Adam Vinatieri, as always. Adam, you spent, a lot of your career as a Colt, which, Gronk hates the Colts, so we're not going to talk much about that. But with the Patriots, obviously Belchick is gone. I'm bewildered that he doesn't have a job right now. I find it shocking. What do you make of everything that's going on, and where might he be a good fit? Falcons, of course, written right here, but there's all of this talk about how there's a front office struggle and hesitancy to bring him in. Do you buy that?
Yeah. It's one of those tough situations. I've got the utmost respect for Coach Belchick. Obviously I didn't get coached by Landry and Lombardi and all the great coaches that we talk about. But in my personal opinion, he is just head and shoulders above all the other coaches out there in his ability, his preparation, his ability to get the most out of his players. I think he's a good fit for the right circumstances and the right organization. I mean, obviously he wants to have control like every coach does. He probably wants the personnel decision control as well, which, there's other teams out there that may not give him that. So I think he's waiting for the right fit, and the right team's looking to say, how can we structure this to make it beneficial for both teams? But I really think that he's the type of coach that can turn a program around and get them right back into the playoffs and potentially into the Super Bowl. So, I've got a few rings myself because of his coaching ability and all the great players that I played with. And as far as I'm concerned, I want to see him get that record and ride off into the sunset whenever that time is, being the most winningest coach of all time. And I'll be cheering him on all the whole way through. So
how does he not have a gig yet? How is he out there? We're in a world where if the Falcons somehow don't go his direction, he might not coach next year.
Yeah, it bewilders me, to be honest with you. I really thought when they made that decision, he would have 4 or 5 teams that would be a good fit. The ones that I thought could potentially have been a good fit for him, they're not there, or they went in a different direction. So it's interesting to say the least. But even if he decides that the Atlanta job, or if there's not an opportunity for this year, I don't think he'll sit very long. I think the opportunities will come for him. And like I said, I haven't personally talked to him about his plans, but I'm pretty sure he wants to go get that record.
Rob, what do you think? Are you surprised that he's not snatched up?
I mean, everything you just said, Adam, was well said about Coach Belchick. There's no doubt about that. And if he's not snatched up this year, I mean, he's coached for 50 years straight, basically. So taking a year off, I've done it before. You get refreshed, you get your mind refreshed, you get away from it a little bit, then you come back and you're just ready to go. So Coach Belchick may be headed that way. But I still think that the Atlanta Falcons and Coach Belchick are going to figure it out. I mean, it's a great situation for him. It's a team that underperformed last year. They got a lot of talent. They've got a lot of top 5 picks on the offensive side of the ball. He will go in there and he will change that around on how to use that talent and how to get the most out of them. And he would take the Atlanta Falcons and make them a playoff team and possibly a Super Bowl contention. But yes, like you said, there could be some mishappenings going in the front office right now that don't want to give their power away to Coach Belchick. So if all that gets ironed out, all the kinks get ironed out, I think he will be the coach of the Atlanta Falcons.
Gronk, do you think the front office and Arthur Blank should give control to Bill Belchick? Do you trust, that's what would have to happen, the struggle of control? Would you say, yes, take it and go, let's go?
I would 100% hand it over to Coach Belchick. He has a proven record of being able to handle it. He handled it very well for however long he was in New England. What was it, 20 plus years in New England. He knows how to do it. He's got experience, so hand it over to him. He's going to change the program around.
Amazing. Adam, we cannot thank you enough for stopping by. I think you juiced up Gronk even more to get this done. Kick of Destiny 2. He's going to make you proud, baby. Let's show our biceps here. It's coming. Adding a very, by the way, this is cool this year. A new interactive element offering customers the opportunity to make a free pick on whether they think Gronk will make or miss it. Adam says make, I say make. What do you say? Go to the FanDuel Sportsbook app and make your pick. Customers who pick correctly win an equal share of $10 million in bonus bets. So let's hit a break here. We'll be back with Gronk. Adam, appreciate you. Go.
Thank you.
Bye, Adam.
See ya.